Oh, it's a highway to heaven, and none can walk up there, but the pure. Oh, it's a highway to heaven. We are walking up the King's Highway. Oh, I said, if you're not walking, just start while I'm talking. Walking up the King's Highway, and there be a blessing you'll be possessing. We're walking up the King's Highway. Oh, it's a highway to heaven. None can walk up there but the pure in heart. Oh, it's a highway to heaven. We are walking up the King's.
This is God's Covenant Church.
Oh, it's a highway.
The Church of God, established in Jesus' name. Thanking God for another Sabbath day in the School of Wisdom. I was thinking of the scriptures where it says, make a joyful noise unto God, all ye land. And so thankful that we are the land that God is working with. And it's good to be here. And at this time, our pastor and teacher, Harry Moore.
Thank you, Elder Phillips. To the elders, missionary, deacons, all the saints, all that hear my voice, we do greet you in the name of Jesus. Another Sabbath day. Today is about nutrition. Deuteronomy 4:6 says, keep therefore and do them. But this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Right. Let's go to the 28th chapter, Deacon Franny. All the nutrition we get, it takes the blessings of God to really enact true blessings and true nutrition. Because it's got to be done in a way that's a blessing to our bodies. 28:1 says what?
28:1 says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which
all God's commandments is teaching. And it keeps your body and your spirit safe with God. What?
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
What?
And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee.
Now, in other words, we don't pray for it. It's just going to overtake you if you're obeying God's word. That's the voice of God. What?
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
What?
Blessed shalt thou be in the city.
Because we're the city that's blessed. Because we're like a city that's set upon a hill. We're blessed. What?
And blessed shalt thou be in the field.
Field is the world. Wherever God's people are, we're keeping God's commandments. Whatever we put our hands to, we're blessed. What?
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body.
What?
And the fruit of thy ground.
What?
And the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
What?
Blessed be thy basket.
Blessed shall be thy basket when we go to the store. Whatever we get, whether we read it or not, God said, I'm going to bless your basket. What?
And thy store.
And thy store, the things you buy, that's the store. What?
Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
I believe that. And anyone is free to choose to believe God. 8th verse says what?
The Lord shall command the blessing upon thee in
other words, you don't have to pray for it. God is going to command it if we keep his word.
God.
Command the blessing upon thee and the storehouses. What?
And in all that thou settest thine hand unto.
Isn't it beautiful? So we don't have to pick fad, radical diets and all these things. But God teaches us how to eat in wisdom. What?
And he shall bless thee in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee.
What? He's talking about the word. That's what God gave us to dwell in. What?
The Lord shall establish thee an holy people unto himself.
What?
As he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his
all
ways.
About walking in his way. Galatians 5:22. Let's go there.
All right, Pastor.
Thank God. Many times we want things from God. I want to change the way I do things this new year. But as soon as God want to talk and kind of prep you for it, we want to hear God. Nope, anything but God. Give us Barabbas.
You're right, Pastor.
That would be Burger King or something like that. Galatians 5 and 22. What does it say?
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such.
Temperance. Against such what?
There is no
No
law.
law against that. Keeping God's commandments not against that. That's fruit you get when you keep it. Temperance. Philippians 4 and 4. Thank God. Let's read that. We want to strive to be temperate in the things that we eat and the things we do. Temperance. Moderation. You're safe like that. Thank God. What does it say?
Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say, rejoice.
What?
Let your moderation be known unto all men. The Lord is at hand.
That means wherever you are, say, well, ain't nobody watching, more pig out. Let your moderation be known
Yes.
to everyone, whether it's one there or the whole office.
Right. That's right, Pastor.
Yes.
Let's receive our nutritionist, Sister Anna from Tanzania. Thank God for you, sister.
So today I wanted to talk about a balanced meal example before we get into review of previous sessions. So what is a balanced meal? I'm talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You are looking at an example here throughout the day. So you may decide to eat some of this food in halves. Maybe 2-3 hours later, you decide to eat the other portion. You may decide to have your lunch rice divided up in a half, where you can have the other half for dinner. But in general, if you eat like this, you'll probably get enough of your required nutrients for the day. So that's to start with, and don't forget water, because water is also there for a reason. If you have questions, of course, feel free to add comments as we go along. But you could have a snack also, in case you want to have a snack. A snack will be some avocados on crackers. Who thought about that, right? When you're having crackers, feel free to add some avocados. That's a natural oil, which we need for the brain. And the view from last time, from the previous session, we talked about nutrition and how we could have a goal. So you set a goal specific, we call these SMART goals, to make sure that you bought what you need and you are actually making effort to eat these fruits and vegetables by setting a SMART goal, which is SMART means a specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic. That's for the R, and T is time bound. But sometimes, even though you do set a goal, you make your shopping list and you do everything you need, at the end of the day, you may either buy too much food or you may not have enough time to eat it. So did it go bad before you ate it? So to help you, I'm suggesting that you set another goal, which is your second goal, to help you portion out the food in advance. So how does that look like? Things that may go into a smoothie, for example, they can be put in one place. And things that may go into, let's say, your meal, you can portion those out through different containers. And if you want to do a snack, you can also have that snack into like your cucumber and nuts, for example. Have those chopped and just grab it and put in one container, ready to go. You may peel your cucumbers and slice them, but the bottom line is portion out things, especially do this after eating, so you are not overpacking your meals. Because if you're hungry, you may tend to portion out your food in larger portions because you feel hungry. But usually when you are not hungry, that's actually time to shop or even plan for your next meal. And so let's say you had planned your meal and you had something like this that you see on the screen. What do you think would happen versus if you had something like this? So the difference here is seen both in one slide is that Number 2 here has more content. The more content you put in your food as you prepare them, or even if you're to buy something, you have some rice here, you have some chicken, you have bell pepper, the more content you have, the more satisfied you are likely to be. So even though we encourage to eat fruits and vegetables and eat light, but also make sure you are eating varieties, because that's what satisfies your body. So as we go on, you can see other examples of food that would be prepared as a wholesome. You have your chicken, you have your veggies, you have some tomatoes, you have avocados, and you can put some beans in here. This is a balanced meal that can hold you longer, especially if you eat something like this for lunch. This is another example with corn and some eggs here. You could boil some eggs, slice them for lunch. You could have one egg and a half, two, depending on your appetite. Healthy food, usually we don't tend to overeat on health food, even though I say portion things out, because even with healthy food we don't want to overeat, because overeating is not good, but better to overeat on healthier food than to overeat on something that's unhealthy. So here's another example, and now we can review for the brain health. We were talking about brain health before, how we need so much fat for the brain to function. And so the idea is that the salad I just showed you, or the example of meals that I showed, is that we eat those to help us help our brain to stay cognitive, ready, functioning, hopefully to full capacity. But if we don't do that, if we tend to not pack our lunch, and maybe we grab something quickly, and we do, wings are okay once in a while, but if we do this all the time, even when you buy chicken from the store, those chicken that are already pre-processed, I used to work at a store where we made rotisserie chicken, and I know we inject a lot of seasonings and stuff. Some of that stuff is not healthy. It's just to preserve the chicken and also to give it a good taste. So better to buy the chicken, roast it yourself or bake it yourself. There's tons of recipes online how to do that. It's very simple. Wash, pretty much put whatever you want to put it on, and bake. And so that is better for you than sometimes to buy things that are pre-prepared. You just have to know your source, where you get it. And as long as it's not all the time, and also the fact that you are combining it with other things, maybe veggies, you may be okay. But remember, there's sometimes a lot of sodium in there. So we want to make sure we are feeding our brain the food that will be healthier. So this is another food that you can feed your brain that could be better, because there's a lot of combination here. But what we tend to do sometimes, we use too much dressing. When you put too much salad dressing on food, that takes away sometimes the benefit, because now you have so much sugar, so much salt, all that extra calories that you don't need. Unfortunately, the salad is not as effective for your body as it could have been. So if you have something like this, great. Just be light on the extra dressing, especially when it comes to creamy dressings. So be careful with that. Otherwise, sometimes you can think you are eating healthier, but you are pretty much eating something like this, where things are very processed, overcooked, and fried. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to lie to ourselves that we're eating something healthy when we are not. Okay. And so otherwise, I have a picture of a burger here, which means when you are eating unhealthy, it could be too much dressing. It could be anything that is made that looks healthy but is not healthy. Is like putting a burger in your brain with French fries. We tend to talk about burgers as something unhealthy, but other food also that relates to that. If you, like I said, if you put so much dressing on your salad and all that creamy, might as well enjoy your burger, because you are feeding your brain something like into this. So again, to stay away from that, I want you to know that feeding the brain is important, but also is not the outward appearance. So here's a story. We have a story of someone called Lucy, who is, has lost 2 dress sizes, and her doctor is happy with her results thus far. She has been told to stop her cholesterol medication because she's no longer needing it. And our friend Betsy is a bad influence because she snacks on soda and chips all day long. So Lucy is trying to convince Betsy to stop eating, convince Betsy to eat healthier. So I know you don't see all the wording here, but it means healthier. That's what this word is. So now, how is Lucy going to stop Betsy, and who is Lucy first of all? So when you look at this picture, talking about brain health and eating healthier for our brain, making sure we improve our health so we can improve our brain, you look at two people from their outward appearance, who do you think is which? Most of the time, you cannot tell by just looking at the picture. It's not what you think. Just because someone is thin, it doesn't mean that their brain is healthy, they are eating all the food they need to eat. Sometimes people can look thin outward, but inside they're full of fat because they've been eating junk food. They just have a smaller frame, and that fat is piled up inside. So in this case, actually, Lucy could might as well be the lady in yellow. All right. So this is what could have happened sometimes, that Lucy is eating healthy. This is an example of a male, but imagine if it's Lucy eating healthier, the brain is functioning better, and now they have lost, two dress size, or if it's a male, two shirt size, but they still look heavier outward. Why do you may have someone like Betsy who may be small, but all they do is eat on chips and soda or fried food. They just have a smaller flame, which, by the way, is worse because now you have all this fat piling up inside, which is not good. It's better for the fat to be actually outside, for people to gain weight and know that, okay, what I'm eating is actually processing, my metabolism is working better, is working fine, so the fat is going where it's supposed to be, versus all the fat being inside internally, which can be more dangerous for us. So when you look at these people, you have a male who looks smaller, you have someone who is a weightlifter, and then you have a sumo wrestler. Who do you think would be considered as a healthier person here? So I will give you the answer. Pretty much, people who are thin sometimes, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are healthier. Sometimes they may be eating unhealthy food. The fat is within, it doesn't show outside, and we think they are healthy. But sometimes someone who is a body lifter, because they eat a lot of protein to form those muscles, they do not eat enough fat. So your body fat percentage is like maybe 5% or sometimes less, a little bit over 5%, which is not healthy. We need more body fat than that. This is not sustainable for a weightlifter for their life. And then with someone who's like a sumo wrestler, because they are trained when they're younger and they eat a healthier diet, inside they could be healthier. So body size and fat is really not something that you can look at someone and say, oh yeah, because they look bigger, maybe they have a lot of unhealthy fat, and so their brain is not as functioning as supposed to be. You cannot tell by just looking. But you can, though, improve your diet. Even if you have something that looks like unhealthy, like spaghetti, for example, you can add some tomatoes and add some, fresh vegetables, some greens to make it healthier. Tomatoes are very good for, prevention, especially when it comes to things like cancer, to prevent inflammation. If you are able to find organic tomatoes, that would be the better option, like cherry tomatoes that are organic. That's good. That's even better. And then another way, again, as a reminder, you can have fruits with your meal. So here's some sliced pears with shrimp. We know seafood is good. We tend not to eat too much seafood because of the concern about where it came from. Sometimes it's farm raised, that is a farm raised, or sometimes it's coming from the ocean that is polluted with all these mercury and so forth. So we are concerned about that. But if you have a good source of fish, that could be wonderful to add to your meal, because we definitely need those natural oil from fish. And if you're not allergic, fish is good for you. So this could also look like your plate, maybe for lunch or maybe for dinner. Another example, you could have a salmon with some apples and broccoli, and then you can have your rice. So now you're adding carbohydrate from natural source to the rice. All right, so we don't want to go empty calories. This empty side means sometimes we can starve ourselves where we are empty inside, we are functioning without fuel. That is not good. We need to make sure we have a minimum, at least basal metabolic function requirement for the calories. So we are all different. For the most part, we go, the standard is like 12, don't go below 1200 calories, because that means your body has to burn something from within in order for you to function. Now, if you're fasting, intermittent fasting is understood, and that could happen, but you have to make sure you control yourself to make sure you have enough fuel to support your body. So eating for the purpose of weight loss versus maintenance, and also for brain health versus just eating fat, any type of fat. Okay, so this is the fat we don't want, and these are the fats we don't want. Another example, we saw the healthier noodles before spaghetti, and this is the unhealthier version. So I don't necessarily show a lot of unhealthy food on purpose, because I want the subliminal message to be about healthy eating. But this is just a reminder that even when you eat like French fries versus sweet potato fries, sweet potato fries are still not healthy for us. So it's fried. Maybe it's a little better than just regular potato, but it's still fried. So not necessarily good for you, especially when you add all those creamy dressing. So you could have a bowl of noodle that is also full of stuff like soy sauce and stuff. Is still not good. Bottom line is, think natural, and that would be the better way to go. If you can eat natural food, that would be the better way to take you to where you want to go. So here I have the transition was not quite, but I'm going to talk about the book, but to emphasize on the fact that when we eat natural food, is better for us than when we don't. So that's why at the top of this we have like natural food. And then this is a booklet for parents that is about to be published for parents who have children, to help build stronger children. Because as we know, when we were younger, or even our parents when they were younger, they had healthier diets than we do today. So I know parents may be challenged with affording this healthier food. How do you go from finding healthier food that can actually get the children interested in eating them? Sometimes you may have a picky eater. So this booklet, when it becomes available, you will find, we'll provide a link on the next presentations, but it will be available on Amazon and on our website, wellnessturn.com. So inside, the message is to encourage you to eat variety of food, and also that you can buy food in season that is the optimal health. If you want to find, to increase your chances of optimal health, food that is in season tend to be healthier for you, and children may enjoy because it's sweeter if it's fruits, for example. But inside the book, we talk about things like food groups, why is this important versus that, and also a checklist that you could use to make sure that you are incorporating everything you need to balance your vitamins and minerals throughout the week. So that will be the end, but here is a reminder again that breakfast, lunch, and dinner can look like this for anyone. If you are not allergic to eggs, if you're able to eat fish. If not, of course, there's accommodations that you can make, but you can divide up food like into this example to help you maintain a healthier lifestyle, and slowly you can maintain your optimal health, or you can achieve your optimal health and then maintain it. So thank you for listening in to Anna of Tanzania, and you can visit us at wellnessturn.com, and talk to you next time.